I'm
Okay,
here. I'm here.
okay, yeah. So it says
Yeah,
you're
it
live,
does.
guys.
It
I'm not
does say
sure
live on
why
Facebook.
it's not, you guys aren't seeing it on Facebook. I'm gonna go take care of that as I turn this over to Candace right now. Let me close my video and mute my mic. Y'all know I need a tech person.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, Danette. And hey, thank you guys for joining me here on this Monday. I hope that you guys had a great and fabulous Monday. I hope you were able to find the beauty in the day somewhere, somehow, regardless if it's something small or something big. I also hope that by joining us, you guys celebrated your wins today. I see every week where you guys celebrate your wins, and I'm like, man, I need to celebrate wins every day. So I have to say, congratulations to those people that celebrate their wins. And also, I hope that those that are listening that experience losses today, that you forgive yourself for those losses, right? So, we're here talking about the entrepreneurial spirit, okay? This is going to be entrepreneurship one-on-one all week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with the Joseph Consulting Group. And I have to say, I'm very honored to be here. So tonight, we're going to talk about going beyond your beliefs, right? We're going to go beyond, that mind over matter thing. So I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Candace Joseph. I am the Chief Executive Officer of the Joseph Consulting Group. We're located in Houston, Texas, but you know what? We have friends everywhere, and we consider you guys our friends as well. So I'm going to share my screen so I can get started. And the thing about it is, with these notes that I'm going to give you, these tips, I'm going to give them to Danette as well in a Word doc and a PDF doc as well, so she can upload to the group for everyone's viewing. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to awaken the entrepreneur in you. You may say, okay, what's an entrepreneur? Entrepreneur is anybody that goes into business, anybody that has a business idea, an invention. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be products, clothes. You could have a book that you want to get out. You could be a playwright. You could be an actor, an actress. You could be a musician. This is all about awakening the entrepreneur in you. Entrepreneur, just for everyday terminology, is a business owner. So today's session is called Expanding Beyond Your Beliefs, Mind Over Matter, presented by me. So let's talk about this mind over matter thing. When you decide that you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to be tough. And you have to know who you are, what your beliefs are, what your morals are, your ethics, and you have to know your skill set. You have to be an expert in your skill set overall. So mind over matter is really determined by your mindset. So let's talk about mindset. Mindset is the establishment of attitudes or inclinations. So those attitudes could come from our upbringing. It could come from our education. It could come from the environment around us, whether positive or negative. We can have any type of mindset at any point in time. But the great part about having a mindset is you have the power to change your mindset because it's in you. It's your mind over your matter. The thing about it is we all see stuff, we hear stuff, we read stuff, but we have to remember how sometimes those things can play into our attitudes. And if we don't have the right mindset, it can block us from everything from career to family to entrepreneurship, even to your future as a whole. So let's unlock that mindset. Hey, it's mind over matter today. Look at this picture here that I have displayed on the screen. It's someone that's tying up their shoes. Who knows? Maybe they're going on a walk. Maybe they're going on a jog. Maybe they're getting ready to compete in a track and field event, or maybe it's the Olympics. One thing is for sure, when you bend down every day and you tie your shoe or you put on your shoe, right? You are determined to go somewhere. You know, people don't always put on shoes when they're walking around the house, right? So when you open up that front door and you put on your shoes, you're determined to go somewhere. You have to think about it every day, right? Look at this picture. They're tying their shoes. They're going somewhere. They have their mind set, is determined. They know that they have an end goal in game. So when we talk about mind over matter, we have to remember that when your thoughts, your thoughts can become your actions. So we have to get rid of the negative thoughts in order to bring about good fortune moving forward. Mindset. Talking about entrepreneurship, in a sense, entrepreneurs are problem solvers. That's it. Anybody that you think about your everyday entrepreneur. If they have a dry cleaning business, if they have, a food truck, it doesn't matter. They could be your local scientist that's trying to think of different things to combat what's going on in the environment, to cure a disease. But entrepreneurs are problem solvers. We're here to kind of release a pain, make things easier. And you see it every day. DoorDash, wag a dog, grocery pickup in the grocery store. You see this every day. So every day, an entrepreneur is simply a problem solver. Only thing about it is, we don't wear a cape, but maybe in some sense, somebody might want to wear a cape, right? So when you think about entrepreneurship, it's simple. You dream it, you think it, you write it down, you do it. We all have an idea in our head of what we want to do and where we want to be, but it's all about putting those things into action. You have to write it down. You have to sit there and think about everything from beginning to end. You have to be okay with calling on experts, calling on favors from people that you know. You have to know sometimes that when you become an entrepreneur, your dream can be bigger than you. Because think about it. When you open a business, you're involving your friends, your family, your social circles. You're also involving the community in which you're serving. So when you have an idea, don't ever think any idea is, oh, somebody's done that, or, oh, I can't do that, or, oh, I don't know how I'm going to do that. Remember, if you dream it, you think it. If you think it, you write it down. And then you know what? You do it. Put it into action. So when you think about entrepreneurship, right, and you're talking about being a problem solver, you have to tap into your life experiences, your skill set, and your imagination. When we're talking about life experiences, that's more so of thinking about the places that you go, the things that you've experienced. Maybe you went somewhere and had bad customer service. Maybe you thought that restaurant had really good food, but maybe their timing or delivery of that entree to your table took too long. Hey, think about those life experiences. Think about people that you've met along the way in this journey called life. Sometimes those people can fuel an entrepreneur in you. And maybe you're a person who hang around a lot of entrepreneurs. They can awaken something in you. It doesn't matter how big or how small a company is, as long as you complete the goal. That's the end game. You have to complete the goal. So next thing I want people to think about is their skill set. I'm one of those people, I'm real big on that. If you want to become an entrepreneur, you have to evaluate your skills. If you say you want to be a restaurant, but you don't know how to boil an egg, maybe you should own a restaurant, but hire a different cook, right? So you always want to evaluate your skill set. I believe in drawing on a piece of paper. I don't have to do anything fancy. I don't have to have a Word document. I can take out a simple sheet of paper and draw one line down the middle. On the left side, put skills I have. On the right side, put skills I need. Because sometimes, even though you want to become an entrepreneur, you might not have all those skills right away. It might be something that you need to develop over time, or maybe somewhere where you might have to create a partnership with someone to teach you those skill sets. Or maybe you just need more training. But you always want to look at your current skill set, the skill set you need, and then sometimes you got to use your imagination. You got to think into the future a little bit. If you want to create a company that's great, you have to have vision behind it. You have to have that spark of inspiration. Or else, why'd you want to become an entrepreneur anyway? Some people say, oh, my friend's a business owner, I want to become a business owner too. That's the wrong mindset. Whenever you become an entrepreneur, remember what I said, you're a problem solver. You're solving a problem. You want to give someone a solution. So sometimes we have to tap into our imagination and think about things that haven't been done before, or a process that hasn't been done before. And we got to bring it out of ourselves. We have to do that. Entrepreneurship is simple. Life experiences, your skill set, your imagination. That's all you need to get started. That's it. To come up with a basic plan for a business, these are the things you need. And then, of course, you have to have a problem that you're trying to solve. Like I said, mindset over matter. You know, you got to have that mindset to believe in you. Because if you believe in you, people will back your company, people will back your vision. Those customers will send those emails, they'll order online, they'll call you on the phone, they'll reach out to you through email. But it starts with believing in you, because you create the vision for where your future for your company goes. Even if you're a 9-to-5 and you're watching this, it's the same thing. If you're someone that you're in a current job position where you want to move up, level up, it's the same thing. You evaluate your skill set for what you want to do in the future, and you move forward. With an entrepreneur, you are the person who's building the vision. You are the person that's bringing that goal out. You want to be the problem solver. You want to give a solution, put on that cape, and go out there and fly across the cities and solve all the problems with your vision, your experience, expertise, your service, your product, your creation. So believe in yourself, because you are the entrepreneur. You're the creator of your path. You're the creator of your journey. It all starts with you. So that was number one. Number two, think big and think small, right? People say, okay, well, wait, I was always told to be a business owner or entrepreneur, I have to start small and scale big. You could do that, but I want you to think big and small. So a lot of people like to put their list in a certain order and think about the things that they need to do first, right? I don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I start from 10 and work my way down to 1. Reason being, I want to think big and small, because if number 10 is your end goal, that should be at the top, because it should be your daily reminder of the end goal of where you want to be. Doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur, doesn't matter if you're a 9-to-5er, where do you want to end up? That should always be at the top of your list. Everything else can be put into categories underneath it, and you can maneuver along the way. So you want to have a big vision and you want to have a small vision. Yeah, think about the small things that you could do to get started. Write those things out. Write a plan for those things. And then make sure that everything you do is stackable towards thinking big. You always want to think big and small in every step of the way of entrepreneurship. Wow, look at number 3. Do the most uncomfortable thing first. For a lot of people, when they get into entrepreneurship, when we talk about the uncomfortable things, most people think of funding for their vision, right? People are like, okay, well, how am I going to get funding? How am I going to do that? Sometimes the most uncomfortable thing about starting a business really is writing the plan. Okay? Coming up with a business name is cool. Coming up with a business logo is great. You know, coming up with the vision and the plan, sometimes that takes people the longest. Marketing, okay, I know how I want to market this. I know who my target customers are. But putting together that plan, sometimes that's the uncomfortable thing. You know, finding funding and all of that will come along the way, but sometimes we have to do the most uncomfortable thing first, which is starting a plan. But for some people, the most uncomfortable thing could be for them to look inside of themselves and really know if that's for them. Okay, would I be a great entrepreneur? Would I be a bad entrepreneur? Am I ready to actually be an entrepreneur? Sometimes we have to have those, you know, uncomfortable things to happen first, because in order to be successful, you have to remember, you have to get over the matter. Okay, so mind over matter. You have to get through the matter in order for your vision to be great and for you to be free. So here's number 4, right? Put yourself out there. Once you get the plan together, you got the action together, you got the marketing plan together, you got the finances in order, you have your niche planned out, you have your customer base planned out, you know where you're going with this great company. You know what problem you're solving. Put yourself out there. Visibility is key. And the thing about it is, putting yourself out there is more than, you know, announcing on social media that you open a company. Visibility is more than that. Visibility is more than the flyers. It's more than a website. Remember, people have to see you in order to know who you are. So, you know, sometimes you can start off small with visibility, but you always want to think big too in terms of visibility. You know, go volunteer, teach a class, you know, help your next door neighbor, help someone in your community solve a problem. And you know what? Sometimes when you work with other people, you can develop the mindset, because you have to put yourself out there. If you're someone you're watching and you're not really ready yet to be an entrepreneur, but you know that's something that's in your future, still put yourself out there. Okay. Most people call it networking. I call it making connections. Make the connections that you need. Get a coach, learn from other entrepreneurs, be around people who you know will fuel your life experiences, fuel your skill set, fuel your imagination. Because that's what entrepreneurship is about. It's exciting every day. Everyday entrepreneurship is exciting, but visibility is the key. How can people know about your greatness if they don't know where to find you? You know, so if you already have a business and you're like, okay, I need to do that remix thing, rethink your visibility, rethink what you offer. Maybe you need to cut those things down. Maybe you need to stick with your top 3 instead of your top 5, but create the visibility. And if you're a 9-to-5er and you don't know if you want to go into entrepreneurship yet, remember, at your current job, your current employment, be visible, put yourself out there, but make sure you put yourself in a position to, once again, fuel your life experience, your skill set, and your imagination to get you to the top. Okay, well, my next plan was to tell you guys to share it. Why hoard it? Share the knowledge, okay? Share it. You don't want to keep it inside of you. You want to give it away. This can also be a part of your visibility. You know, you want to give knowledge away. You want to give products away. You want to give services away, because that steams and builds up how people find out about you. Remember, we're all born with a gift. Sometimes we can sit there and think about the price tag that we could get for that gift, or we could simply give, and give. Because why? You decided from the start you want to be a problem solver, but then you also need visibility. So you share it, you give it away every time. I'm not saying that you can't put a money on in your 9-to-5er, you put a $sign on your skill set when you decide to take that employment contract, right? Truthfully, entrepreneurship is the same way, but sometimes we have to switch up those things and we have to get a good mix in. We have to give it away sometime. We can't hoard it forever. All right. So in business, I could just tell you, sometimes things can be unpredictable. Why? Because life is unpredictable. You know, if when you become an entrepreneur, you might have good months, you might have bad months, but the thing about it is that you have to keep going. You have to remember why. You have to remember why you decided to become a problem solver in the first place. So you have to keep going with your vision. You have to keep going with giving that knowledge away. You have to keep going with being the best of the service industry, being the best with the products that you have, just being the best entrepreneur all the way around. But you have to keep going. Okay, I don't know what happened with my number in here, but hey, this is live, so it's okay. But my next point was very simple. You do not need permission. You don't need permission to be an entrepreneur. You don't need permission from anybody to get started. You put a plan in place, figure out what kind of problem solving you want to do, and you don't need anybody's permission but your own to get started. You don't have to wait for validation for someone to tell you, hey, that meal you cooked last week, it was real good, you should start a restaurant. Don't wait for that. If you know that the problem that you're trying to solve, you used your life experiences, you used your skill set, you used your imagination, and you came up with something great and powerful, you don't need anybody's permission to get started. It's time to get started. A lot of people can give you advice. A lot of people can tell you what to do with your business or what to do with your idea or how to formulate that. Oh, no, I wouldn't do it this way. I would do it that way. Remember, you don't need anyone's permission but yours to be great. You are greatness. It's in you. It's in you already, every day. So when I talked about getting permission, right, you don't need it. Sometimes we got to close those mental gaps. And the mental gaps could be same thing, issues from our life experiences, skill set, or imagination. Close the mental gap. If you know that it's a certain skill set you need, take a class, take a seminar. If you know someone that does the same thing, ask them to be your mentor. Ask them if you can shadow them. If you're having an issue with mindset due to past failures, you want to make sure that you know that you are worth it. Forgive yourself. You're worth it. You have to close the mental gaps in order to be successful in anything. Entrepreneurship, life, love, any kind of connections, career. It doesn't matter. You have to close all mental gaps. You have to close that fear of failure, the fear of not having someone's permission, the fear that no one will buy your product, that someone might not like you as a life coach or a public speaker or the person to make all their dreams come true. You have to close the mental gap in order to bring about any kind of success. Entrepreneurship is hard, but it's rewarding and it's great. And it's something that you feel alive with every day. If you don't feel alive about the problem that you're solving, then you strictly have a hobby. I tell all entrepreneurs every day, if you're not working your business every day in some way, either building your skill set, your imagination, your life experiences, building that vision, going out, making those connections, putting yourself in places where you need to be, then you're strictly having hobby. You don't have a business and you're not an entrepreneur. You're a hobbyist. And sometimes that itself could lead to entrepreneurship. So never be closed-minded to any great advice or wisdom someone gives you, but always take it from a standpoint of you want to make sure you have the knowledge and the strength to focus and get that thing done. You have to close the mental gaps. It could be one of the hardest things to do because they can come from anywhere. It can come from, financial failings. It can come from, bad experiences with people out there. It could come from anywhere. It could come from life. But remember, you have to close the mental gap in order to be great at anything. Close the gaps. Get the help you need. Get the skill set you need. Do things that boost your imagination. Go for a walk. Talk to a kid. You'll be surprised how much little kids have the greatest imaginations, and how for them, everything is limitless. There's no ceilings. There's nothing impossible. Everything is possible to a kid. Sometimes that could be a way to close the mental gap and to give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. Remember, it's in you. Mind over matter. We all go through stuff, but it's all about how we get through the stuff to get to the greatness of who we are. It's in us every day. So let's get started. Let's get started. So with that being said, I talked about the mindset. I talked about ways you could close the gap. I talked about the importance of skills that you need to get these things done, to be the greatness that you are, to pull it out. So I came up with a few answering questions that I know some people are asking me along the way, right? So here's the thing about business. You don't have to have the most money out there to start a business. You don't have to have the greatest idea, but you need an idea. You know, you have to know that your skills and your life experiences and your imagination are worthy of something better and bigger than you. Remember the vision, the end goal, the big idea. That's what entrepreneurship is about. That's what leads it along the way. Could I sit here tonight and give you a cookie cutter plan as to, well, if you want to start this kind of business, this is what you need. If you want to start this kind of business, this is what you need. I could do that too. I'm open to questions because I will give you answers. I will give it to you. I will share it. I won't hoard it. Why? Because the vision, the greatness is in you. When you want to become an entrepreneur, you know, you deal with tough battles inside. You deal with external battles. You deal with internal battles of that fear, that doubt, that pride. You know, you deal with that. And then on the external, you will deal with some people that might not like your idea, but you might find some people that love your idea, but don't like that it's you that's pulling it off. But you know what? If you have the mindset to go beyond that matter, that stuff, right? Sky's the limit because you're great. If you want to become an entrepreneur, it's very simple. Think of the problem you want to solve. Think about how you want to use the skill set that you have. Turn it into something great. And the thing about mindset is this. You have to think about all those things. You have to think about the interpersonal. You have to think about how you move about the community. You have to think about if you are someone who doesn't like to share, you know, and then you have to think about it if you're creating that problem for extrinsic or intrinsic validation. All of those things play a part in who you are. They play a part in your vision. Become a problem solver. Take out a sheet of paper right now. Write out what kind of problem solver you want to be. What's something that you think about every day? You dream about it. You sit in your quiet space, or maybe it's in a room full of people, full of noise, and you drown everybody out. And you think about this one thing that you want to do. The thing about it is, if you think it, dream it, write it down, you're supposed to do it. And it's that simple. Of course, start out a business, I'll give you a quick plan, very quick, right? Think about the problem. Think about the skill set you have. Get the skill set you have. Because any business that you start into, whether it's food, whether it's services, whether it's products, whether it's homemade goods, whether it's anything, become an expert. Become the expert in what you want to do. The logos are cool. All that's cool. Make sure you do that. You can do that. But make sure your business is protected. Register that name. Get that federal EIN. Get those bank accounts. And then once you create the vision, the plan, you have all the legal paperwork out of the way, then the fun part starts. Then you market. Then you create your visibility. Then you figure out how you could problem solve along the way. You're not going to have every answer, the question to every answer answered right away about your industry, about your field, about, you're not going to have them all answered. The thing about it is that you're going to think big and small. You're going to go out there, you're going to get those resources so that you could close the mental gap. At the end of the day, we all want to be free. And some people will, they'll get you with that hook. Oh, well, you get into this and this will lead to financial freedom. You want freedom of time. You want freedom of time. Financial freedom comes with freedom of time. If you create a great product, a great service, to where you get the freedom of time, the financial freedom is right there with it. Be great. So you know what? I'm going to take some questions. I'm going to let Danette come back in, but if you want to figure out how to reach me, Danette's going to post all that, but you can always go to josephconsultingfirm.com and send me an email about how you want to be great, and let's figure out a plan to get you there. Danette, you said you have Facebook questions.
I have a couple of questions, and guys, continue to send them. I see such a strong, resilient woman. How long did it take you to close those mental gaps before you became Candace Joseph, the Candace Joseph that you are right now?
10 years.
10
years. Wow. That's because I didn't think I had anybody in my corner that could help me close those mental gaps. I had a pride thing where I knew I had the skill, but I didn't know who to ask of how to launch. Then, you think about, you're going through life, you have bills, you have this, you have that. So people are like, oh, okay, well, you need a business consultant. And you're like, well, okay, well, I kind of know what to do, but I didn't always have the financial resources to do the things I wanted to do. But then there go that pride thing kicked in and said, no, don't ask anybody to help you fuel your vision. And the thing about it is that honestly, it probably was longer than that, because since I was 19, I've always been told that I should have owned a business, I should own a business. And everybody's like, well, when you turn 30, you should have done this. But I had to remember, I had to close the mental gaps. And when I did, and I became free, it's the most beautiful thing on earth. But it took me years to get out of my own way. I had to get out of my own way and know that I was worth it. And that's self-love. When you get that self-love in you, man, nobody stands a chance. Nobody stands a chance.
I love it. Okay, let me see. So we have, what motivated you the most to start working on your dream?
For me, it was, my parents were one, because they were getting older. And, you think about all the sacrifices that they made. And now you said, okay, it's time for me to make sacrifices for them. Another motivating factor, truthfully, was a car wreck that I had in 2016. It put me in a wheelchair. And I had to go through physical therapy. I had to go through deciding whether or not I'm going to pay for this medication or that medication. And it stopped everything that I had going. It stopped my whole dream. It stopped my drive. It stopped my company. I lost clients. I lost almost everything I owned when I went through that. And the thing about it was that I was mad for about a month. I'm not going to tell you that it wasn't hard. I was mad. I was spitting mad for a month. And then I decided, okay, well, we're rehabbing everything. They said it's going to take you 9 months to get back to where you are, maybe a year, maybe longer, or maybe you're going to permanently be in a wheelchair. I said, well, after a month, There was only so much Netflix I could watch.
Mm.
So I developed a plan
Mm.
to do a business remix on something that I already been doing. I was driving from city to city, flying from town to town to meet with clients. I was going out there, going to free seminars. I was doing the online thing. I was going out there and shaking hands like a politician and kissing babies and passing out brochures and knocking on doors I was doing all of that years ago. And then I decided that I had to come up with a smarter plan. And I also know that because of what happened being a solopreneur, because of that car wreck and I lost all of the income that was coming in, I knew I needed a team. And I knew I needed to build a powerhouse of a team. But I used that year to plan, to plot, to get the extra skill set I needed to make sure that when I did my business remix and relaunched the Joseph Consulting Firm, that it was the best that it could be. And, I thought big and small. And every day it's just one of those things to get to the bigger vision of the Joseph Consulting Firm.
I love it. All right, let's see. How do you balance your many business ventures? I see you are a mobile.
I was hoping the whole night that question wouldn't come up. Okay, so I will say this. Most people say that they are a multitasker. I am not. I am someone that will create that list and strike it out. But I am someone who is okay with reaching across the aisle and asking someone else for their expertise to help me get these things done. My team, they're great. They remind me to eat. They remind me to drink water. They remind me to stop at night and wind down and go to sleep. So I have to say, I love my team. They push me, and every crazy idea I have, they back me. That's the thing. Like, yeah, I have all these different things that I do, but my team backs me. They make sure my calendar is straight. They make sure that my clothes somewhat match when I walk out the door. Sometimes I don't pay attention and I'll put on something else, but they back me. And trust me, it's hard to juggle, but I do it for the fun. I do it for the intrinsic value. I do it to say that I can do it, but then I also look at the smiles on people's faces when I do things for them. It doesn't get any better than that. It just doesn't.
Do you think your injury helped you to take your dreams even further and feel the power to become more effective sooner?
I think it with the car wreck, I no longer had any excuses. I had no more excuses of time. Like I said, becoming an entrepreneur, it's about freedom of time. Yeah. With the wreck, I had to sit there and look at myself. I had to figure out who I was again. I had to figure out, okay, if I'm stuck in a wheelchair, how am I going to get through this? If I have to walk around on crutches, how can I travel? How can I meet with clients? How can I do those things? I think for me, it helped me become fearless in the fact that I can reach out for help. Because, my friends call me the Superwoman. I'm the Olivia Pope with red hair. I am all of these things, right? But it helped me slow down because I was so busy doing things for everybody else. I didn't sit back and think about how to push my vision further. That accident helped me do that, but it also helped me take a look inside and learn to love myself a little bit longer and, better, and forgive myself for everything that had failed in the past, and forgive myself for not launching sooner. I mean, it changed my life. I think that's the thing. But I will say this, I got handicap parking everywhere I go. And when I go through the airport, I'm pushed in a wheelchair, and I just do my little, Queen Elizabeth wave. Hey, y'all. I'm not a celebrity, but, I can sign something if you want my autograph, So it gave me a new lease on life, and it gave me an appreciation for the things and the people around me. I was so used to doing everything for everybody else. Now here was my time to ask, my parents to help me get dressed, or my brother to go to the pharmacy to get my medication, or hey, hey, best friend Brandi, can you go get the extra soap that I like and not the stuff that they brought me from the store? Or hey, could somebody open up the front door? I can't bend down to pick up the package. Your life changes. So you change with it and you make the best out of it.
I have some comments I want to go through because I want you to hear these. I want you to, in case you miss them, because you know I done shared this live in so many places. Comments be all over Facebook. But Candace, thank you. I knew you dropped jewels, but my goodness, you just blessed me with this information. Wow, 10 years. Thank you for the truth, for your truth. Yeah. Self-love. You are radiant and beautiful, Candace. All right. You can't hide it, Candace. I know you are doing a lot. Okay, you reach out to your team. That's a blessing, and that is why you are a wise woman. Right? No more excuses. Woo, you're on fire, Candace. So then I have from Brandi here. Yes, she's telling Rhonda that you really are, amazing. And we try our best to keep her healthy and happy so she can continue to provide her wisdom to people. So that's for everybody who doesn't know, that is Brandi is your Chief Operating Officer?
Yes, Brandi Kenrick is my Chief Operating Officer. She is also my best friend of 30 years. We've been best friends since 6th grade. We realized in the 3rd period class that we always sat next to each other. We had every class together and lunch. It was absolutely amazing. And, Brandi and I, over 30 years, we've both dealt with health problems and issues and life issues. And we always stuck by each other's side. And Brandi was one of the first people amongst 3 people that actually financially invested in me to help me get to where I needed to be and where I wanted to be business-wise. Because, like I said, that pride was something. I was used to going here, going there, working till 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning for people and doing this and traveling here to work and traveling there to work. And then one day I was just like, okay, I can't travel. I have to learn this online thing. And my best friend said, what do you need? Let's get it done. And that was it. That was it. Then my parents, what do you need? Let's get it done. My little brother, what do you need? Let's get it done. My best friends, Sharita, Osha, what do you need? Let's get it done. What do you need us to do? Corey Bird, what do you need? Let's get it done. My niece, Daze Sattler, what do you need? Let's get it done. I interviewed Danielle Ford on my radio show, and 3 days later I said, hey, I have to have you on my show to help me and my team push our goals. And she said, yes, Candace, what do you need? Let's get it done. And Danielle's daughter, Ari Nicole, was like, Miss Candace, your schedule is everywhere. You're double booked in too many places. You have too many people on your radio show. What can I do to help? And I'm creating a special thing for her. But I do know that, with her being 16, hey, you got school. School is your job. You can hang out with the CEO anytime. And I still need more people on my team because the vision is growing bigger. And I'm open to that.
They're coming. They are.
I need the help. I'm serious. Sometimes I look nice to be in a car and be cruising and get to an event and look in the mirror and be like, oh, you forgot to comb your hair. Okay, who's going to the next event? Because these things keep happening to me, or my cane don't match my outfit, because I walk with a cane. But, I figured if I'm going to walk with a cane, it's going to be a cool cane, That's what I do.
Let me ask you one. So we often hear people say, don't tell people what you're doing. Well, what do you say about that? You know how people say like, oh, I've had people in the group even post it up like, oh, they're going to talk bad on it and do this on it. What do you say about entrepreneurs? Are they supposed to be keeping this stuff to themselves? Should they be sharing what they're doing?
This is what I say.
What do they call them? Dream killers or something?
Yes, yeah, like you're going to find a lot of dream killers. And for me to protect myself against the dream killers, I don't tell everybody my strategy. It's chess, it's not checkers. And I believe in playing chess. So it's strategy. Now, don't get me wrong. Celebrate your wins if you're a business owner, but celebrate those losses too. You know, the whole thing about it is that when people appear to be Superwoman, Superman, then people think that you're not human. You want people to invest in you. You want people to believe in you. Now, I might not go and post online who my client list is, because I'm not going to do that. That's their privacy. That's their right. If they want to announce that they chose me to work with, then that's them and that's their right. But as their consultant, I believe in their privacy. I'm not going to share every win. I'll share the major ones. I'm not a person who will share my next goal or my next vision, because you know, you got somebody else that could look at your vision and say, well, you know what, I think I could do that better than Candace. No, I believe in being 5 steps ahead of the competition all the time, every time. You always stay 5 steps ahead, and that goes with business, that goes with working a 9 to 5. You stay 5 steps ahead of the competition each and every day. And for any new entrepreneur that's out there, and anybody that's rebranding their company, if you're not giving it away, what are you holding on to it for? They don't know you exist. Be visible, be great. You got to show people. You have to.
All right. I don't have any more that I see right now. So I'm going to stop that. You have any more for us, Candace?
Remember that, you know, you are I tell this to anybody wants to go into business, remember you're an individual who have your own thoughts and your own mind and your own ideas. And don't be scared to tap into those and bring out that greatness. Don't be scared of that. And the thing about it is that you're not a cookie cutter person, so you don't need a cookie cutter plan. Develop your company, develop your vision based on who you are as a person. You know, one thing I tell people all the time when they tell me about getting into business, I tell them to take a personality test. Why? Because one of my, you know, great business mentors that's out there, Casual Pitts, he sent one to me. He's like, yeah, I know you have a business, but you need to know what type of personality you are, because your personality will tell you what type of business owner you are, but it will also give you clues, which I learned from Casual Pitts, about what type of team you need. So, you know, you got to know yourself before you put any product on, you know, because some people, they'll get that one email where somebody want to buy 1,000 units of their product. Then for the next 6 months, they don't have anything in there, feeling low about themselves and feeling down. And the only thing they keep doing is replaying that tape about the one time that they had this great order, and now everything after that is small. No, close that gap. Every order is a victory. Every time someone buys something from you, that's a victory. Every service, anything you provide for anybody, you're solving their problem. That's a victory that they chose you. They chose you. Think about it. You know, people hear that every day. I chose this person to be my friend. I chose this person to be my mentor. I chose this person to be my spouse. I chose it. Have pride in what you do. Close the mental gap. It's okay to have a good month and a bad month. It's okay to have a good day, because last couple of days I've been having bad times. There's allergies and there's asthma, and you know, hey, we are human. You're entitled to your good and bad days, as long as you understand you have to close the mental gap. Things happen, stuff happens. That's that matter I was talking about, right? Stuff. But it's all about how you deal with it. And if you deal with it in a way that's positive and that's solution oriented, you can get through anything. You can get through anything. You know, look, I took 9 months of physical 12 months of physical therapy in a pool. I still don't know how to swim, but hey, I became the problem solver, right? I could float on my back, and I was able to get out of a wheelchair to a cane. And you know, every now and then I sit there and say, okay, do your hands this way, do your hands that way. Because one day I'm going to close that gap. I'm going to continue to close that mental fear that I had of water, in order to to be able to swim. That's the whole reason why I chose water therapy in the first place, to close my own mental gap about not knowing how to swim and having a fear of water.
Mm.
So we have to think about what's inside of us and become our own solutions expert before you can become the solution expert for anybody else. And the financial gains, they'll be there. They'll be there.
So you tell people what you're doing, but you don't share your strategy.
Yeah. And the reason why is because sometimes, when you're a business owner and you're thinking of an idea and you're using that skill set, that imagination, it may not be an idea that's fully formed. So I can't tell someone about an idea. I can have a great idea. I have millions of ideas every day. But if the idea isn't formed and I don't have all of the key components, why should I announce it?
Yeah.
If it's not put together, you don't announce. And but you tell people about your wins, you do that. But I don't tell everybody my strategy. I don't share it. Even my team don't know some of my strategy. And I do that because I want to make sure that when I present it, it's whole. It's a whole thing. It's a whole idea. I got all the A to B, and then when I can work out the kinks with them. But I at least want to make sure that I have it formulated in my mind, ready to present to my team.
Okay. Ooh, I like this one. Candace, I know you're an authentic person on your way also, okay? On your way up, did you have to leave some people behind?
Yes, I did. But I also had to leave the old Candace behind too.
Okay.
Oh, I left some people behind because every journey that you take, some people, they're not going to be down with the program. And the thing about it is, a lot of times people, they take that statement, leave people behind, if someone doesn't like their idea. So you have to be careful in regards to who you're leaving behind and the reason behind it. Just because someone doesn't understand your vision, understand your goals, or even understand the method to your madness, it doesn't mean that you discard them, because they were a part of your life for a reason anyway. Maybe y'all don't need to talk business. Maybe y'all just need to talk, Saturday mimosas over waffles and talk about life. Maybe that's the thing. You leave certain people behind in certain aspects of your life. Do you discard the whole person? Never. But, when you're going through certain things, some people will fall off of your life. They will leave. And when people leave, it's okay, help them open the door. Sometimes people are scared to lose people or lose relationships in order to find their greatness. No, the people that are for you will be there. The people that are not will dismiss themselves. And sometimes you open the door and let them out. And be okay with the loss. You have to be okay with the loss,
Yeah.
You have to be okay with the loss.
Sometimes
I deal with it every day. And every day I'm okay.
Open the door and let them out. I love it.
Let them out.
She says, I love it, love it. Thank you. I don't have anything else. If you have anything, drop it here. Anything you want to leave us with tonight?
I'll leave you guys with this, and it's just something to think about. Think about what kind of problem solver you want to be. Think about what kind of cape you want to wear. And know that people are here to support you. You are an individual every day. You're not like the next person next to you. They don't have the same fingerprints that you do. Remember, you can be an entrepreneur in your own right, in your own way, with your own idea, vision, plan, strategy, and mindset. It's all about the mindset. Forgive yourself for your successes and your failures. Close the mental gap. Be brilliant. Be you. Let's get started. Give me a call. You can call me, email me to get this knowledge, and I'll talk to you. If you're a business owner already and it's not going great, call me. I'll help you. If you're a 9-to-5er and you want to make that transition from being a 9-to-5er to being an entrepreneur, call me. I'll help you. Because there's a way that you step away from being a 9-to-5er to an entrepreneur. You don't just go in there and quit your job and say, okay, well, tomorrow I'm going to start selling hats. No, that's not the right strategy. Like I said, everything is strategy. And for those of you that play board games and all that kind of stuff, try chess. It's fun. It'll change your life.
Can you tell us about what's coming up later this week?
So later this week, okay, on Wednesday, I have my Chief Innovative Officer, Corey Bird. When I say this guy is phenomenal, he is phenomenal. I believe that everybody has to have that one person that keeps them motivated in a different way. All the people on my team, my friends, but with Corey, he brought something extra to my company. He brought a different type of energy, a different type of vibe. And he's a business owner in his own right. He's a CEO of, Savvy Savages University, which for him is kind of like a thought process of, you do what you have to do to get your dream out there no matter what. So he was somebody that always kept me motivated, and I asked him to join my team to help bring out a more creative side. Like I said, you think about your imagination of some things. I found someone to help me think outside of the box, because he's an out of the box kind of guy. So he's going to bring that motivation on Wednesday to show people you stay motivated every day, no matter what. You keep it going. And then on Friday, Danielle Ford, she's my Chief Strategic Learning Officer. She's brilliant. Like I said, I interviewed her on my radio show, and 3 days later I said, hey, do you want to come work with me and my team and push some of my clients to their greatness? Because, people are used to me. They need to they need to get to know other people other than me in regards to strategy. She gave me a strategy on what I wanted to do, and I was able to close the mental gaps to get it done in 3 weeks.
Wow.
So she's going to bring strategy. She's going to tell people how to actually formulate a plan for their success and what they want to do. And it's for entrepreneurs, it's for family, it's for life, it's for anything you want to do. She's going to tell you how to write those goals out and how to make yourself accountable. And if you need somebody to have that accountability partner, call up Danielle. I do every day. So we want people to know that in order to be an entrepreneur, you have to have the right mindset. You can't be someone that's scared of failure. Failure happens in everyday life. So you have to be fearless in all things. You have to be motivated to stay the course against all odds. No matter what you go through, you stay the course. But then you have to have a plan. You have to have a strategy. You have to know that, your strategy is reasonable and is realistic and it can be done. Because at the Joseph Consulting Firm, we deal with reality. Fantasy is cool when we're talking about the idea, but we believe in reality. But everything we do is custom made to you and who you are and your personality. That's it.
Thank you. Let me see if we have anything else. I don't. I'm sure I do. As soon as I finish this live, I'll see all the questions that I missed. But you're in our group, so we will tag you on them when I find them.
No problem. And I'm here. I'm here for people to really know that you can be a business owner. And the thing about it is maybe you're that person that don't need to be a solopreneur. Maybe you need to have a team of people to help you get to where you want to be. That's the thing. I don't care what anybody wants to do. I don't care if I don't care what your idea is. Let's get it done. You want to write books, you want to write plays, let's get it done. Do you have one already? I can read. Let's go. I read 3 books a week anyway. Give me something to read this week. You decide you want to have a little pop-up shop and you're going to serve food. Hey, tell me where you're going to be. I'll come get a plate. Or if you're anywhere in the US, I got a friend in every city. I'll send them to your restaurant and test your food, So I just tell people every day to be great. Any questions, I'm okay with asking them as well. And I'm here.
Just want to make sure nothing came up. Well, I am so happy to have hosted you again. This is your second time with us. Yes. I'm excited about what's coming for the rest of the week. And I just know that we're going to have a lot of new businesses in this last quarter of 2020 opening up soon. So I thank you again, Candace, and
Yeah. I
I will
thank
see
you.
you.
I thank you as well for the opportunity. And for those people that registered for tonight's class through your Zoom link, they're going to get my ebook and they're going to get a special offer from the Joseph Consulting
All
Firm
right
if
now.
they attend all 3 days.
Okay.
If they attend all three
All 3
days, they'll have a special offer. But I will allow my ebook to be available to anybody within the group as well.
Okay,
So just
perfect.
to give it all 3 days, I got a
Mm-hmm.
plan for you.
All right, I
Mhm.
love it. All right. Have a good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.